stuck here. The cops won't bother me. Feels comfortable. Okay, so my brake is working a lot better now that it's not bent. I could actually reach and make it work. So my I filled the front tire with air and the rear tire. The rear tire had air, but the front was pretty low. The bike now handles much better. It rolls so much easier, and I think I want to go around some corners just a little bit so I can see how this bike handles. You know, one thing I noticed about this bike, which is kind of a bummer, it's no big deal, but to me, because I'm kind of picky, there is no fuel gauge. All you have is your speed, your trip, your odometer, and then your tach, and then you have your temperature gauge on that right, but no fuel sensor at all. In a way, it just makes it easy. There is a fuel light, but there's no connections at all for that that sensor in the top tank. So I wonder if there's a sensor for the bottom. So I don't know. I know that cruisers really aren't known for handling, and I think that's one of the reasons I've never gotten into cruisers. But now that I've filled up the front tire with some air, it feels much more stable in the corners. And by the way, it's kind of interesting that the front wheel of this thing is a 19-inch. That is kind of cool. It looks pretty massive, and I think it kind of helps the suspension out. My V-Strom 650 had a 19-inch front wheel, and I really like that aspect of it. Of course I'm American and not European. I ride a cruiser. I feel like a real man riding a cruiser, unlike feeling like a box turtle most of the time. It's kind of like the same way that I feel when I'm like behind the wheel of a pickup truck. It's like a everyman sort of vehicle for the working class. That's what the cruiser feels like. Something for the working class. I don't know, like I've never been part of it. Of course I am part of the working class, except, you know, I'm more of a white-collar creative type. But it does give you a weird feeling of being like kind of macho. And I guess I kind of need that, because most of the time, you know, I just feel like a box turtle most of the time. And this is kind of like a weird feeling that you get. It's like that vibrating motor. I guess I do see why people would like the vibrating pulses of Harley. I don't like the price tag that they offer in Harleys, but it's a cool style. It's like just kind of cruising. You know, you're not trying to race. It's all about the enjoyment. I think that's what cruisers are all about. It's like the enjoyment of riding. And the sport bike ADV types are more like a little bit more on the edge of competition and performance. But I don't know, I don't think a lot of the cruiser type of bikes are doing well. I think people are getting more into ADV bikes. The cruiser in front of me, I don't know what kind it is, but it looks new. He's got all the gear, man. He's even got that leather jacket thing, but he's got the hoodie, so I don't know what he's up to. God damn, this guy is going really slow. I have no idea what kind of bike that is. Fancy, he's got signals and everything. That looks like a Harley. It's got a belt drive, so I think it is a Harley. Looks like it. I knew that his jacket looked a little bit sophisticated, but yeah, he's got a lot of money still. I think that's the thing. These Harley guys, it's kind of like the BMW guys. They have a lot of money to spend. You know, for me, a lot of YouTubers I see, they get like really nice, expensive bikes, you know, the performance bikes. They buy all the modifications for it, like the great brakes, you know, they put the steel braided brake lines. I'm just trying to cobble my way into a working bike. For me, my bar is set much lower. I mean, I wish I was in their level, that I could just buy anything I wanted, but I just make things to do. And a lot of people tell me, oh yeah, you should turn this Shadow into a bobber or a chopper or a knocker or a forker. I don't know, they just keep telling me to like modify this thing. But to me, a good bike, I don't know, I actually don't like it to be modified. I like the fact that this bike is stock. I like it being like what it came out of the factory. I don't want to make it too different. I'm just not that type of guy. Maybe I'll find a bike that I'd really like to modify, but to me, a modified bike kind of loses its value. This bike from 1985, when you look at it, it's almost exactly everything is stock. And I love that about it, because when I look at ads online, there's all of these guys that have bikes and they write in the description, I invested $30,000, but the bike itself is like $500. Having a bike that looks stock, that's really what I like. I don't want to make it too complex. Honda Civic hatch, the CRX, that's a cool one. The S2000. Daisy Import Auto Care. They have really cool cars. They had a 240SX here. Oh yeah, it's still over there. Look at that. That's a really nice car. Oh, look at that Isuzu like RV. And look at that little Honda. Wow, look at that Honda. That is so cool. They're starting to import these cars into America, and I think they're like 5,000 bucks. Look at the tiny little wheels. Very cute car, very simple looking. And then there's that Isuzu Rodeo 4-wheel drive by Yokohama Motors camper. That looks really cool too. Just wanted to look around the bike, turn it off. It's very important to, especially when you're working on a bike, to once in a while stop and look around. So as you guys can see, I put the back seat on, and I don't particularly like the way this looks, you know, but it is the stock style of this bike. Some people really like that kind of flow and for their old lady to sit here. I think I would prefer the seat to be just small and not have all of this contraption here, but for road trips it actually comes in handy. You can strap a very large book bag here, and then you can even like rest against it, but I think it's a little bit too much. I am missing this cover, and you know, I do have my relay bypassed here. The fuel pump, it's accessible now, and of course you got your fuel cut off over there. Very good engine. So I do have a few issues, and I'm going to resolve them hopefully by removing the tank again. And this is not leaking anymore, or it's not leaking, which is good. The front brakes are good. They're mushy brakes, that's for sure, but now they operate fairly well. Okay, let's see. It's not leaking. Okay, sometimes I look around and I'm like, okay, is that leaking? And it doesn't look like it's leaking. I do love the way it sounds. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!